Good morning. Would everyone please stand for the recessional? We now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order. Arm. Right. Favor. Forward. March.
Let us pray. Eternal God, we pause today to celebrate a very special man whose contribution to us all is commendable, courageous, and continuing. Though we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by name today, in fact, we honor the significant achievements of countless others whose names and faces may not have been recorded by history, but whose struggle for justice and equity on our behalf is no less noteworthy. We celebrate Dr. King's dignity, humility, and integrity. We pause to thank him for his bravery and determination, his intellect, and his creativity. We pause to lift his plea to America to find its best self and force it to the surface for the benefit of all her progeny. We join in that plea, dear God. We look inward and commit ourselves to the love ethic of Jesus, who insisted that we love each other as you love us, and that we sacrificially serve each other so that we all may enjoy the highest quality of life possible. May this activity and the many others that are being held across our nation serve to motivate us to work tirelessly for the causes of justice, equity, and opportunity. We thank you for the creative minds that have come together to sponsor this service. We thank you for our Mayor President and for the NAACP. We ask that you give relevance, meaning, and purpose to this ceremony, such that it will be more than a memorial to what was, but a projection of what can and should and must be. In your name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Joanne Porter. I am your Mistress of Ceremony for today, and I am a proud 11-year member of the NAACP. First, we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today, and also for those of you who came out on this chilly morning to celebrate and share with us in this momentous occasion. Today, we celebrate Dr. King, and we honor him for his contributions to society and, of course, to this nation as a whole. He was a true leader, and we will continue to shine the light on his accomplishments and his legacy. As you see on your program, it's already printed out for you, and it will go on as printed. I will list a few items that we're going to cover for our first segment. I've already broken this out into segments here. We're going to first have a musical selection by Mr. Reginald Collins, who's going to sing so well for us, my good friend, followed by greetings from one of our vice presidents, Miss Iman McClanahan. Then we will have special awards and recognitions by our fierce leader, Mr. Eugene Collins. And after that, that's going to be followed by remarks from Representative Ted James, who we all know and are proud of, who has accepted a presidential federal appointment. So we're going to be excited to hear from him this morning. And after Mr. James, I will return, and then we will get started with the next segment. But first, I would like to start us off with one of my favorite quotes from Dr. King. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Mr. Collins.
Founded February 12th, 1909, out of a mountain of despair, a stone of hope. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People was founded, also known as the NAACP or NAACP. I come to you from the Baton Rouge branch as second vice president, Iman McClanahan, with a warm welcome and many thank yous for joining us today as we celebrate a celebration fit for a king, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., a man of God, a visionary, a leader, and a trailblazer. Today, we celebrate Dr. King for everything he was and still represents in our fight for both equality and equity. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., also a member of the NAACP and Southern Christian Leadership Conference, inspired us all by his actions and his words. Whether through countless organizing and strategizing, his efforts to seek equal voting rights at the March at Selma, or the March on Washington, where his famed "I Have a Dream" speech took place, Dr. King taught and urged us all what it meant to run the race you are given with faith that it will come. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase, Dr. King. We exist today because of the same faith that one day we too will reach the mountaintop to see the promised land, to see that dream as a reality, to have faith that injustice and inequality will no longer exist because Dr. King has said there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor political nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him it is right. As we celebrate him today, for the man he still is, let us remember the fight he helped instill in all of us. As they used to say back in the day, here at the Baton Rouge branch, we ain't no ways tied. Always remembering, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. And always asking ourselves life's most persistent and urgent question: what are you doing for others? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Again, we welcome you, we welcome you, we welcome you.
Thank you. Y'all give it up one more time for our second vice president. She's doing a phenomenal job. Now, Ms. Porter and Ms. Butler have reminded me time and time again that I only have 10 minutes. So I assume there was some concern that I may go over. Before I get into my remarks here today and some special recognition, I do want to take an opportunity to recognize the elected officials and appointed officials that are here with us today. So if y'all are in the building, please stand. Come on, stand up, Courtney. And y'all can be seated. Now, see, one might call those leaders our drum majors. And see, Dr. King once talked about a drum major instinct, right? As I sit here today and look at his frat brothers. And although the drum major is the one conducting for the entire band to see and watch and to keep the time, the drum major is actually looking at the center snare's feet for the timing. See, Dr. King understood when he talked about the drum major's instinct that the center snare at the back of the band was as important as anybody leading it. See, Dr. King understood that he had to keep his eyes on the center snares for his feet to stay on time or on course. He understood that the person at the back was more important than the person twirling the baton at the front. He understood the drum major's instinct. Dr. King was saying that everybody in that band had to have the drum major's instinct. He told us that that drum major's instinct wasn't a bad thing to have either. You just had to culture it appropriately. He wanted the people around him to be leaders, to all think like the drum major. See, he wanted the folks that followed him to have their own thoughts. He He just wanted it harnessed it properly. See, excerpts from this speech have been used in many forms. It was even used in his eulogy, where he talked about, don't tell them where I went to school. Just like biblical figures, he said, tell them about my work. See, the drum major instinct, he understood he was nothing without the horns. He understood that he was nothing without the beautiful sound of the flutes and the clarinets. He understood the importance of the center snare. The drum major understood the depths and importance of everybody around him. And although it was one band and one sound, the functions were very different. See, I got to believe that if Dr. King was around today, he would want justice for Ronald Green. I got to believe if Dr. King was around today, he would want justice for Dontrana Robinson. I got to believe if Dr. King was around today, he would want justice for Kaylin Williams. I got to believe that if Dr. King was around today, he would want justice for Lewis Robinson. I got to believe that Dr. King would want justice for all. See, whether you take our boys in a uniform, or whether you take our boys in all black, or whether you take them laced with a fentanyl pill, you are our enemy, and we're going to take our streets back. That's the drum major's instinct. Not to pick or choose fights, just be where you need it. Tanya Miles, push. We need you to keep showing our babies other routes outside of drugs. Sat, Miss Liz, and the BR Street team, push. We need you to keep walking for peace. To the warriors, no justice, no peace. Fathers, hold your daughters and raise your sons. Mothers, give your boys confidence and correct your daughters. And brothers, keep your hands to yourself. You don't own these women. If you can't be a drum wager nowhere else, you can definitely lead in your life in your home. And that's the drum major's instinct. And no matter what you're doing, always watch the center snare's feet to make sure that you're on course and time. See, our instruments may be different, but we're still one band. See, I once said to the 100 black women of Metro Baton Rouge that fingers in itself are part of fragile. They can be broken easily, right? But when you bring it together and you form a clenched fist, it turns into power almost automatically. See, we just need to get back to the fingers, though. See, we talk about the fingers. See, council people, we need you down there pushing economic development policies that are equitable for everybody. Mr. Tevin, Mr. Kimball, Mr. Brad, Chris Guillory, Myra, Diana, Gino, Whitfield, James, Dunn, we need y'all and other businesses and development minds in the room. Fairley, Jennifer, both of y'all, Finney, Tanya, the other allies, Councilwoman Adams, we need our allies. Reverend Flowers, Michael, Ronaldo, Smith, Williams, Ellis, and others, we need y'all too. Our warriors, Gary, Domino, Casa, Haley, Mona, Arwen, Carl, Bloodworth, Ellis, Harmon, Laramie, Amina, Bradford, Kate, Tia, Taylor, Peoples, Jetson, Mitchell, Porter, and Anderson, we need y'all too. And see, when we get all of those things together, Mayor Broome, can I borrow you for a second? Come on up here. So when we get all those fingers moving together and we all got our instruments, we're watching the center snare feet, and we close that fist up, before we talk about power, Mayor, I need you to sprinkle it with a little black girl magic. Go ahead and sprinkle it, Mayor. There we go. And when we put it up, once we close that thing up, we're walking down the streets with a black power that can't nobody mess with. But we got to do it together. And see, if you ever need the NAACP, the largest and oldest, the baddest and the boldest, the most loved and most hated, the most feared and revered, the most cussed and discussed civil rights organization in America, you know how to reach us. Because we'll be there on the forefront, always being a guiding light for justice. At this point, I want to go ahead and call up the Southern University Law Center, as well as let me go ahead and get Ms. Sheila Butler up here for a second as well. And before we get to the Law Center Award, I want to go ahead and recognize Ms. Butler, who I asked to chair the MLK committee this year. And for those that don't know, historically, this committee was chaired by a local reverend here in the community for a long time. And I'm hoping that Ms. Butler's going to pick that up and just keep the ball running. You're welcome. Let me get to the Law Center here for a second. And I can tell you, the Law Center now has been around for 75 years doing service. The seriousness of purpose, a mantra, a change, a mindset for 75 years, Southern University Law Center has been opening doors and instilling a seriousness of purpose in the change agents who have graced the halls of this devout institution. Southern University Law Center boasts of humble beginnings and a simple mission. A letter to Charles Hatfield dated January 24th, 1946, declined his request to study law at Louisiana State University because of the de jure system of separate but equal. This letter set up a chain of actions that would lead to the creation of the Law Center, championed by the civil rights giants A.P. Turo, Thurgood Marshall, and SULC's very own Louis A. Berry, filed a lawsuit that resulted in Southern University becoming the first institution to admit African Americans into the study of law. Through those open doors came judges, politicians, district attorneys, public defenders, and more. We have not only blazed the trail for those attending and those who yet to attend, but they have also opened doors for many in the community to walk through. Just like the NAACP, Southern University's Law Center, students and alumni have stood at the front lines of civil rights, and they work tirelessly to serve our communities, our state, and our nation. The Baton Rouge chapter of the NAACP partnership with the Southern University Law Center has grown into family ties. Our connect has become as if we were a family that support each other no more than an hour a day. Many NAACP members are either current students or alumni of the Southern University Law Center. Whether they serve on the Social Justice Committee, the Police Accountability Committee, the legal institution has always supported the NAACP. I want to acknowledge the hard work and dedication to the Southern University Law Center witnessed from Scott Bluffs to our nation's capital. Southern University Law Center has left a mammoth footprint on the Baton Rouge's community and Louisiana's legal history. Under the leadership of Chancellor John Pierre, I know that the Southern University's Law Center leaders will continue the hard work to positively impact this community, this state, and this nation. I want to present this President's Award to the Southern University Law Center. All right, and last but not least, we want to present a special token to our mayor for continuing to be always a willing partner and a big supporter of the NAACP Baton Rouge branch. And even when she don't really quite like what I say, she called me down in her office and she tell me. Not often. But we love you, Mayor Broome, and we definitely wanted to present this to you. Thank y'all.
Good morning. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you to the Baton Rouge branch of the NAACP. And thank you to, I see different letters and colors and numbers assembled in the front. Thank you to the Panhellenic Council for being here. And thank you to our mayor. Mayor, we know that this year you had the vision to call us all together to celebrate the life and legacy of Martin Luther King. And I know that he is smiling down on you today, not just for your vision to call us all together, but for your leadership for our great city parish. You know, Eugene, when we talked about me coming here today, I always get bittersweet talking about Dr. King. Because, of course, the celebration piece is easy, right? The remembering his legacy is easy. But thinking about how he would feel in 2022 if he was still living is a little bit depressing. It is a little bit of a challenge, and I will admit that here in Shiloh, Pastor Smith, and even Dr. King, you talked about the many that walked with him and behind him and no one other than your father, I'm pretty sure you were thinking about, as his work in this community and beyond was one that definitely this program talks about walking in the legacy. Your father did that, and I'm pretty sure that he is extremely proud of you as well. So as I think about Dr. King, my friends and family who are here, I'm thinking about two simple questions. How far have we come, and where do we go from here? And in thinking about how far have we come, I think about certain things. The passage of the historic Voting Rights Act, the Supreme Court decision in Broome versus Board of Education, Emmett Teal. I think about Medgar Evers, and many of the names, moments, and things that were taught to us in our schools. And then I think about the fact that for 8 years we enjoyed a black president. And now, to the ladies in pink and green, we have a black vice president. We've had 2 black mayors, 1 male and 1 female. So I think about how far we've come, I get excited. But then I'm reminded, just like Eugene said, about names like Ronald Green. I think about the fact that right now in our United States Congress, there's a voting rights bill that is stalled. Even with majorities in the House and the Senate, a voting rights bill is stalled. All across the country, states have eviscerated our voting rights. Not here. Not yet. In our neighboring state of Texas, folks that look like us have been gerrymandered out of their districts, and their voices have been silenced. Just this celebration of Martin Luther King, some teachers in Texas can't even teach about certain things that he fought for. How far have we come? Dr. King posed the same question to himself, and he gave himself 2 options. He said, community or chaos. We know that Dr. King, if he was still here today, he would not have chosen chaos. We know that the leaders here would not have chosen chaos. We know because we are assembled here today, and because of all of the plans that we had in this community to celebrate his legacy, we know our mayor would not have chosen chaos. She would have chosen community. There's a very important quote by Dr. King. And no, this was not from the I Have a Dream speech. We know that, because they were taught to us. They were replayed on our radios, replayed on television. No, not those. We know, it has been stated here, that he had gone to the mountaintop and that he had seen the promised land. But to me, Dr. King's most famous quote, that in my opinion forms the foundation of his work and the embodiment of his legacy, are these: I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you cannot be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. Dr. King said that in a real sense, all life is interrelated. All men and women are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. He knew that whatever impacted us, or one of us directly, impacted all of us indirectly. So as we celebrate Dr. King and as we walk in his legacy, it's good to remember the dream. It's good to remember the fact that he had gone to the mountaintop. But as we think about that promised land, remember that that promised land is a promised land that calls for all of us to recognize that we are all in this thing together. It matters not the 2 digits behind the 19. It matters not the color. It matters not the shield. We are all in this together. So my challenge on this Martin Luther King Day, if you haven't done it already, before you click publish on that post, before you pull up one of his quotes, before you pull up one of his pictures, ask yourself a simple question. For the other 364 days, what are we doing to further his legacy? Are we furthering his legacy? And ask yourself how. And that's how we truly honor this giant of a man that we have come to recognize as a king. And we save that. We save that title for those that are only deserving. I ask that you continue to remember his legacy, but I beg that you continue to walk in it. Thank you.
All right. I'm back. All right, we are so thankful for everyone who has participated on the program so far. Mr. James, thank you for those wonderful words. And our fierce president, you almost made your cut, but you did a great job. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that has participated so far. Next, we will hear from our illustrious mayor, Sharon Weston Broome. And after our mayor speaks, we will move right into another wonderful selection by Mr. Collins. And following Mr. Collins, we will have a presentation from Mr. Ryan Harris, who is the president of the National Panhellenic Council of Greater Baton Rouge. During this time, this will include the Alpha Hymn, as well as the lighting of the Peace and Unity candles. And then after that presentation, we're going to have Miss Renee Knighting. She is a member of Top Teens of America, Non-Periel chapter. She's going to come with some reflections. We always like to include our teens, and she's going to come and give her reflections to us. And at that point, I'll circle back. So let's receive our mayor with a warm applause, please.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you to the NAACP, Eugene Collins, for your leadership. To my friend, Representative Ted James, whose voice will be missed at the Louisiana legislature, but who has made a profound impact and has already created a legacy. And to all of you gathered here today, to our council members, Adams, Coleman, and Hurst, to the great pastor of this church, Pastor Fred Jeff Smith, and to all of my brothers and sisters gathered here today. Thank you for coming out this morning, and thank you all who are watching us virtually as we participate in a day of celebration for walking in legacy. We have had a number of partners who have gathered together with us to not only make this day a reality, but our continued celebration, which I will share with you more as we move on. While we are able to celebrate certainly the life and legacy of Dr. King today, I am grateful that we have come together despite certain circumstances. I recognize that the health and safety of our community must come first if we wish to work together to further our progress in East Baton Rouge Parish, which is why we have rescheduled our service events to February 16th through the 20th. And I look forward to working with all of you in the coming weeks as we continue to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King through active service. As I thought about this morning and coming here, I had a multitude of thoughts about what I might say very briefly. And I'm going to start with something that may be a little unexpected on a Martin Luther King celebration. But that is the most recent showing of Women of the Movement. The story of Emmett Teal. Now, we know that story very well, that tragedy, but for me it has a very intimate meaning. And that is when I was a third grader in Mrs. Dozier's class at Carter Elementary School on the south side of Chicago, Mrs. Dozier said to us, "You're going to go next door to Mrs. Mobley's class, and her class is coming over to my class. And you're going to sit with Mrs. Mobley for a while. Well, of course, back in the day, we didn't ask questions when our teacher told us we were going to do something. We lined up and went and marched next door. And as I sat there, this teacher began to unfold the story of a young man from Chicago who had gone to Money, Mississippi to visit his family. And certainly the story climaxed with the tragic and horrific death of Emmett Teal. Well, the teacher who told me and my classmates that story was no ordinary teacher. She was the mother of Emmett Teal, Mamie Teal Mobley. And so hearing that story firsthand from Emmett Teal's mother, you can imagine, even as a third grader, never left me. I share that story this morning because we know the impact that Emmett Teal's death not only had on America, but certainly was an impetus for the civil rights movement and Dr. King. Because we know that even Rosa Parks said that one of the reasons that she did not get up off of that bus and move was because she thought of what happened to Emmett Teal. And so we know that Dr. King made an impact on all of America in every sphere of influence. And so here in Baton Rouge, my vision and the vision of our committee and those who have come together is to honor Dr. King through a legacy of service and conversations, not only today, but throughout the year. I'm honored to stand before you all this morning with the opportunity to lead the collective efforts of Martin Luther King's holiday through the lens of a safe, hopeful, and healthy BR, which I believe our local president laid out in a very clear and relatable form in terms of the issues that we face right here in our community. And so this work is going to build upon the foundation of so many partners in our community and so many leaders. And so we're going to shift to Black History Month. And I love this. Pastor, I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to continue the work, the conversation. And we all know, Representative James, that Martin Luther King's celebration is so much more than a day, as you shared with us. This holiday and celebration certainly is rooted in the progress made and in the effort to instill the ideals of equity in our nation. We owe much of this progress to Dr. King. And so in order for us to honor his legacy, we must work to address the inequities within our community that are rooted in disinvestment, oppression, and discriminatory policies that affect education, health, and overall quality of life for many African Americans head on. And so this is why, as we go forward with our MLK holiday, BR 22, we are focusing on certain pillars for our community: literacy, youth empowerment, equity, and justice. And let me touch on a few of those very briefly. So when we deal with literacy, our partnership with the East Baton Rouge Parish Libraries, the East Baton Rouge Parish School System, Imagination Leads, and Baton Rouge Alliance for Students, they are actively working to bridge the literacy gap within our community through creating opportunities to donate time, knowledge, and resources to our youth. Youth empowerment, number 2. We're going to build upon this work through the lens of youth empowerment because we know that our community is safer when our youth and families have access to meaningful educational and economic opportunities. Communities are safer when children and families have access to educational and economic opportunities. This work is supported directly through our partnerships with community organizations like Big Buddy and the work of our Safe, Hopeful, Healthy BR program within our schools, and so many of the other organizations, Eugene, that you mentioned that are out doing the work to empower our youth. Lastly, this work lays the foundation for a future of equity and justice for every resident of East Baton Rouge Parish. We know that our community cannot truly succeed without the success of each and every individual. This work does not begin and end with the efforts of the MLK holiday. My administration is focused on fostering and supporting community revitalization projects with a renewed sense of capacity building and strategy. So, these pillars are creating the opportunity for us to not only walk in the legacy of Dr. King, but to carry it forward. We could not do the work if we didn't have collaboration and partners. And I want to thank our partners who are moving forward with us, like Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, Louisiana Healthcare Connections, Healthy Blue, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Coca-Cola, who's represented here today, Cox Communications, and so much more. And of course, where would we be without the leadership of the NAACP and so many other partners? Last but certainly not least, I want to thank the MLK Holiday Baton Rouge Steering Committee members who have been a pivotal part in steering the vision and work of this effort. And so here's my challenge, very similar to Representative James. I challenge all of our residents to join us as we build this progress through service. We will have opportunities for mentorship, service within your neighborhoods, and fellowship to celebrate the progress in our community and the progress to come. So we expect you to sign up and have someone else sign up with you. We expect you to get involved in our community. You can do that at the MLKHolidayBR.com, MLKBRHoliday.com. You know, today as we face an assault on voting rights and voter suppression, I close with these words of Dr. King. The vote is the most powerful instrument ever devised by human beings for breaking down injustice and destroying the terrible walls which imprison people because they are different from others. Let us continue to reflect on and apply the lessons and principles that Dr. King left us. Let us continue to create progress and deliver Baton Rouge to the promised land. God bless you.
The splendor of a king, clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice. Let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide. The tremble at his voice, the tremble at his voice. How great is our God?
Thank you for that beautiful selection. Greetings. I am Ryan Harris, President of the National Panhellenic Council of Greater Baton Rouge. Our purpose is to foster cooperative actions of its members in dealing with matters of mutual concern. With me, I have executives from chapters of Divine Nine organizations here in our community. Today, we stand united in our service to uplift mankind throughout Baton Rouge and all surrounding areas. It is an honor to be a part of this celebration of the life of our frater, Martin Luther King Jr. After our presentation, we would like to present Dr. King with the Alpha Hymn sung by the members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I ask that the executives please stand and come forward to present to you the executives from the Greater Baton Rouge Panhellenic Council in the Baton Rouge area.
Good morning. My name is Todd Sterling, and I'm a proud member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and more specifically, the Beta Iota Lambda chapter founded in 1939, where I serve as chapter president.
I'm Malcolm Carpenter. I'm the president of the Xi Nu Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, founded in 1983.
Good morning. I'm Kismet Gray, representing Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Gamma Eight Omega chapter, chartered in 1940.
Good morning. Angela Gooden. I represent Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Nu Gamma Omega chapter, February 16th, 1980.
Good morning. My name is Melanie Powell, and I represent Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Specifically, I'm the Panhellenic Council representative for Phi Sigma Omega chapter, chartered in 2000.
Ashari Robinson from the Baton Rouge Alumni Chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi, serving as the Vice Postmark, chartered in March 15, 1942.
Good morning. My name is Terrence Marshall, member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, specifically Lambda Alpha chapter, where I serve as Bossless, chartered 1936.
Good morning. My name is Bryce Bates. I'm the bossless of the Lambda Kappa Kappa chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, founded November 17, 1911.
Good morning. I am Shai Joseph Franklin, president of the Baton Rouge Sigma Alumni Chapter, founded October 1964. I began with the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, founded January 13, 1913, on the campus of Howard University.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Erica Joseph, president of Louisiana Tri-Parish Alumni Chapter that was chartered on December 8, 2002.
Good morning. I am Tisha McKinney, president of the Baton Rouge Delta Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, chartered in November 1931. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Melissa Drake, president of the Baker Zachary Alumni Chapter. We were chartered March 12, 1995.
Good morning. I am Alfonso Smith of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, which founded in 1914 on the campus of Howard University, where I have served as the vice president of the Omicron Beta Sigma chapter here at Baton Rouge, that was founded in 1930.
Greetings and happy MLK Day from the lovely ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We were founded in 1922. We're excited that this is our centennial year. I am Rashonda Hannibal, Vice President Anti-Bacillus of the Mu Sigma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated here in Baton Rouge. We've been serving since 1945 for 75 years.
Good morning. I'm Mark Nichols. I'm a member of Iota Pi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. I serve as the State Director of Louisiana, where we were established in 2000, and happy MLK Day.
Good morning. My name is Donald Broussard. I'm the secretary for the Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, the Alpha Omega Omega chapter here in Baton Rouge.
Thank you. Please take your seats. Will the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated please come forward?
What legacy are we following? Growing up, I used to hear my mom sing certain songs while walking around the house as I was getting ready for school. One song that really stood out to me was by Whitney Houston. The words were, "I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way." As I reflect on those words when I got older, I realized that although the song was written before I was born, the word children described every generation that once was an adolescent and now soon adult as myself. There has always been hope for the youth to grow and lead the community and set great examples for generations to come. But will the generations to come have anything to follow? Are we setting positive examples to the kids whom we have a major influence on? Ask yourself, what am I doing at this moment that will have a positive impact on our community later? Of course, most of us are enrolled in school, but are we walking in our purpose at school, or are we entertaining the latest drama that later ends up into fights or gun violence? See, I've been on both sides of the fence to know and understand that my generation is lost. I have been an innocent bystander just trying to have fun with teens from across our city, and I also was only a few centimeters away from being shot in the head. I have been a part of a relationship drama to understand that most will praise negative issues before paying attention to someone's positive influence on the community through their affiliations of different organizations. So at times, I'm ashamed to show who I really am because my generation doesn't receive it. But I stand here today to tell you that it's not too late to change for the better. Martin Luther King Jr. left us a powerful legacy of peace, nonviolence, and love. Which legacy are you following? Ask yourself these questions. Are you creating peace by thinking positive in negative situations, or helping someone view things differently to keep them from having unnecessary animosity with their peers? Are you choosing to practice conflict resolution by talking things out instead of using weapons to speak for you? And are you displaying acts of kindness to everyone around you? Today, as we honor Martin Luther King Jr., it is my prayer that my generation open up their hearts and minds and come together to create peace within our community and agree to want to make this world a better place. Thank you.
Excellent, Ms. Knighting. Thank you so much. That's something for us all to think about, not just the teens. So thank you for that. And we want to thank everyone who has participated so far. Our great mayor with those words. Let's give her another hand. And of course, the wonderful selection again that Mr. Collins presented to us, and we thank the Panhellenic Council for their presentation today and for the lighting of the Unity Candle. So here we are at our last segment of this program, and before we move on, we would definitely like to thank all of the participants so far and for all of those who were part of the mayor's team and helping put this program together, and certainly our team, the NAACP, and our president has already recognized Ms. Sheila, but we certainly want to thank her again, and all the members that were on the team for the program today. Let's stand, please, and let's recognize you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you all had a lot of Zoom calls, some that I missed, but anyway, you all pulled it off, and here we are. Okay. So, right here I want to do a little commercial. They told me, your team told me to do this, Mayor, and so we want to just add on. You spoke a little bit about it. But as a part of the MLK holiday experience, we invite you to record a video responding to "I plan to serve Baton Rouge" by doing the following, and then you would fill in the blank with your service of your choice. And we would like for you to submit your pledge to MLK. Y'all need to be typing this in, writing it down, mlkholayBR.com/pledge. The link does work. I tried it. I didn't do mine, but I just did it, tested it out to see if it works. Some of these links sometimes kind of give us the blues, but it certainly does work. So MLK holidaybr.com/pledge. And what you will do, I'm just going to repeat it in case you didn't listen. I plan to serve Baton Rouge by doing the following, and then you will fill in the blank with your service of choice. Whatever you're going to do, come over to Joanne's house and clean up and cut the grass. Any of those things are welcomed. Anything works. So, okay. So for the most important part of the program, back on schedule now, we're back on task. We're going to have our NAACP call for membership. Now, this will be done by our very own Laura Bowman. She is the Louisiana State Conference Secretary, and she's the local branch membership chair. And we also, one other thank you, we certainly want to thank my pastor, Reverend Fred Jeff Smith, sorry, Laura, and Shiloh Baptist Church for allowing us to be here today. So let's give my church a hand. Okay, and as Ms. Bowman comes up, I'm just going to go on and read everything else. Following her, we're going to have Ms. Moniqua Holmes. She is a member of McKinley Senior High School Chorus, which is directed by Ms. Chanel Nettles. She will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, and we would like for everyone to stand during this time. And finally, we will close out with a prayer by Pastor Dale Flowers, and this will be followed by a procession of the elected officials out to the corridor there. Thank you, and we'll have our secretary, so be listening on how you can be a member. This is time to be attentive.
Good morning. My name is Laura Bowman. I am Louisiana NAACP State Secretary by way of the Baton Rouge branch and membership chair. What can I say about membership? The mission of the NAACP, the mission of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination. Founded in 1909, the NAACP was one of the earliest and most influential civil rights organizations in the United States. During its early years, the NAACP focused on legal strategies designed to confront the civil rights issues of today. Through us, other civil rights groups emerged in the 1950s and 60s. The NAACP retained a prominent role within the movement, co-organizing the 1963 March on Washington and successfully lobbying for legislation that resulted in the 1964 Civil Rights Act and 1965 Voting Rights Act. Now, there is no NAACP without the membership. Having membership in the branches and units, college chapters, it's like having boots on the ground, so we need you. Any person in accordance with principles and policies of the association may become a member of this association with the consent of the board of directors by accepting the term of the Constitution of National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and the bylaws for units and paying an annual fee for whichever membership you choose. Now, we have several levels of membership. We have youth, we have teens, we have regular adult, and we have a lifetime membership. The regular adult is $30. You can join your local branch, such as the Baton Rouge branch. Our email is brnaacp100@gmail.com. And our web address is www.naacpbr.org. Also, you can go on our national online site, at naacp.org. We accept cash, checks, Cash App, PayPal, food stamp. No, I'm just playing. So those are ways that you can join in our payment method. Now, what about Baton Rouge? What does Baton Rouge do? Baton Rouge promote racial equality, confront critical civil rights issues of today, partner with local organizations, schools, churches to educate the community on voter education and registration. Educate the community on the issues that are vital to the success of our community. In addition to that, Baton Rouge conducted the Stop the Violence Walk, changed policies. Also, Baton Rouge, along with other partners such as the Red Cross, led the charge in getting supplies to other areas of the state hard hit by Hurricane Ida. And currently, we are working with the Ronald Green case. Now, really speaking, there's no NAACP without the membership. Membership is the lifeline to the NAACP. It's the heartbeat of the NAACP. There is strength in numbers. Be a part of a bigger organization, bigger than yourself, where we organize, mobilize, agitate, and litigate. Because when we fight, we will win. Thank you. Come on and join us.
stray from the places I got where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy land, may we forever stand true to our God and true to our native land.
With our heads bowed, eternal and gracious God, we come into your presence with grateful hearts as we bring this celebration to a close. We're grateful, God, for those who walked before us, who blazed the trails of the roads in which we travel. We thank you, God, for their spirit and pray for the same spirit within us, a spirit of commitment, a spirit of dedication, a spirit of endurance, a spirit that fights against all odds. Help us, God, to celebrate the lives of those that walk before us. Help us, God, to see as Dr. King saw. Just 3 years after telling us of his dream, he looked around and realized that dream had become a nightmare. Help us, God, to look around and see that while many among us are living the dream, far too many are in the midst of a nightmare. Give us the heart that fights for others. Give us the heart that continues to fight for justice and righteousness. Remind us, dear God, of the words of Coretta Scott King, who said, struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. Help us to continue to fight with all of our might. It is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Amen.
Again, we want to thank everyone for attending today. This concludes our program.